Oh, hey there, Bobcat here in the Main Street Farms kitchen. Today, we're here to talk about one of my favorite things, tacos. Now, you guys know how much we love to talk about exit strategies. To me, tacos is one of the #1 things for exit strategies. As you can see here by this platter, we put almost every single veggie we grow in a taco. And we actually challenge you guys to try a new veggie you might have never had in a taco before. Try to put it in a taco. So a couple of fun things here. We got some fish today for our Jamaican crew. They love fish. For the vegetarians, I do Three Sisters, corn, beans, and squash. We use the delicata. If you guys don't know about the Three Sisters garden, look it up. It's pretty cool. And then so we got, your basic lettuce, onion, pepper, tomato, and then we also have kale, carrot, there's golden beets back here, and some cucumber. So we're gonna run through quickly a couple of knife skills. As my buddy Eli, the drummer in my band, says knife skills matter. He's a professional chef, he works at Cornell. And so, you wanna make sure you have a nice sharp knife, something you're comfortable with. You wanna make sure your cutting board is flat and not wobbly. So for the delicatas, they're a little bit tough to cut at first, but you could also use some leverage of the cutting board to cut down on it. I usually like to cut the ends off first, then I cut it in half long ways. It takes a little bit of strength. And then the seeds, some people struggle with this. I like to take a spoon. I'll kind of just carve them out with the spoon right into the compost there. If you don't compost, you probably should. So yeah, scoop those seeds out. You can roast the seeds if you're into that kind of thing. If you like pumpkin seeds, they are edible, but a lot of times I just like to move them out of the way. So for the delicata, depending on what you're doing it with, if you want it to cook a little bit on the faster side, I'd cut it smaller. So especially for something like tacos, I'll cut it into strips. And then once I have the strips, bunch them together, make sure they're secure. And then just go through the line there. Alright, so we're just going to run through a couple things real quick here. Cabbage, usually chop the end off. I usually cut it in half. I'll chop the core out there. And then, maybe cut it in half again and then shred it like that. Cabbage, done. Good alternative to lettuce if you want to use your lettuce for salad. Chard, I usually chop the ends off. I'll even fold it in half sometimes. I'll roll it up. And then again, just finely chopped. Sometimes some people like their greens bigger than others. If you want it smaller, chop it again the other way. Chard, done. Onions, chop the ends off. We already did that. Now, there's usually 2 ways to go about it. Sometimes I go directly into the circles, and then you can dice them. I'll go half and then diced. And then sometimes, depending on how I'm feeling, I'll cut it in half, and I'll just cut it into strips. And that's pretty easy because, the onion is in layers, so it'll kind of just come apart on its own. Peppers, I know a lot of this stuff is pretty basic, but, not everybody is a world-class chef, so it's okay. We all start small, and I was just talking to Jess earlier about my humble beginnings. When I was in college, I would I started cooking in my dining hall because I didn't like the dining hall food, and they actually had a kitchen there, so that's how I kind of taught myself how to cook. So peppers, you could do strips. If you want them smaller, again, you just keep cutting them, there's lots of different ways to cut different things. And speaking of which, one of my favorite ways to process the beets and carrots, if you have a food processor, like one of these guys, and you have one of these attachments for it, look for the side that has a shredding blade. And if you put those carrots in that food processor, you can get nice shredded carrots like this in seconds. It's super fast, super convenient. It's pretty cool. So the last thing we're going to do now is make the tacos. Oh yeah, also don't forget about the salsa. Bobcat's super simple salsa from a previous video. Some of the farm crew, they love their soft tortillas. Me personally, I like the hard tortillas. Now here's a pro tip, Bobcat pro tip. If you put the sour cream on first, I like to spread it on the inside of the shell there. And that way, not only do you get sour cream with every single bite, but it'll also act as like a glue. So if the shell starts to fall apart, it'll kind of hold it together. So I usually do meat first, a little bit of cheese, And then our various greens, you know, lettuce, kale, onion, carrot, I'm making a mess here, pepper, cuke, whatever you want. And then top it with some salsa. And then here at Main Street Farms, wouldn't be complete without some sriracha, some hot sauce. We use sriracha, or we buy Frank's Red Hot by the gallon. This is actually Frank's Red Hot in a sriracha bottle. And there you go. Tacos, great exit strategy. Enjoy.